This is a 12 billion company valuation. So this company thinking machines is valued at 12 billion at the moment, and they have brought a new open weights model Inkling. So for whoever is new to this channel, I am Praskevi Kivroglou and I'm the host of Tech Break by Friday. We are doing this podcast in order for everyone, beginners, advanced people, business owners can understand the impact that AI has in businesses, but also in technology as well. So, what is an open weights model? An open weights model is actually a model that has been open source, and lately it means that it has been that we have all its parameters available for us to use. We can actually download this model completely and use it for ourselves, fine tuning it, etc. So this model has this specific characteristics is 975 billion parameters of mixture of experts with 41 billion of them being active, 1 million context window, and it has been trained on 45 trillion multimodal tokens from text, images, audio, and video at the same time. But instead of this company trying to beat ChatGPT, especially like the new model 5.6 from OpenAI and Anthropic's Fable 5, this company, what it does is that wants to be a customizable base model. So they wanted to build this model so everyone can customize it for their own agentic work. And that's actually the value here. They are giving us a model for free that we can use and we can train it on whatever custom knowledge that we currently have. Especially like if in order for you to train something like this, you need huge GPU power, you need a lot of resources, but if you have this, you can actually play along and fine tune this more to something that it has been pretty unique use case to you. So in this video, I want to do two things. First of all, I want to explain what's the actual interesting part here, except from like the obvious stuff that this is a company that has been valued at $12 billion. Mira Murati is the person that started this company. She was the former CTO of OpenAI, and she has an extraordinary career this couple of years. But also from a PM perspective, from a product perspective, we need to test this model live with us here in this platform that they have in their playground. We want to test this model on the playground here. And why we want to do it? We want to actually see for ourselves what this model is capable to do as a base model. Again, this model is not made for final use. It's not like 5.6 that it's out of the box ready to use. It's something completely different. You have to customize it to your own liking. So, moving on, we are starting from the first thing that we will talk about of we'll read this article here and we will also see the announcement. So as we have said here, like this is the total parameters that they are mixture of experts architecture. And if you want me to go into a little bit more depth in another episode of what is a mixture of experts, I can go into. Currently, what I want to do is I can give you a brief explanation of what that is. If you want me to go into more depth about the mixture of experts architecture, I will be happy to do so. Comment down below. Basically, now we'll just give you a pretty brief overview. So this is an architecture of a neural network that many sub-networks of it, they are experts. So they exist as experts and they are trained on a real specific knowledge. So basically imagine that Instead of having one model that it's good at everything, you have one model that's being de- that it has maybe multiple, not maybe, that it has multiple experts combined into one. So we have 1 million tokens context window, but on Thinker that we will do the testing today. Here we have 24K to 256K. And the input modalities that we can add right now is text, image, and audio, but this model has been trained as well in video. And here you can see a little bit of an overview of how this model has performed across many benchmarks. And if you also hover on top of it, you will see that this is the score against other models. For example, 5.6 Sol from OpenAI and Fable 5 from Inkling. This is the reasoning benchmarking, for example. And if we hover on top of it here, it reaches like reasoning almost like 5.6 on Fable 5, which is pretty remarkable, especially like, yeah, maybe like benchmarks are also fed into the model. We don't know that. But here, for example, this is pretty close for just a base model. So here we have a bit of an overview of what this model is actually pretty good at. It has zero intelligence, agentic coding and tools. So this is the reason that this model has been trained on. Audio and image input, instruction following. I really want to see that. This is pretty exciting. Forecasting and confidence, and actually controllable effort. So you can adjust the thinking time to balance speed and performance. So let's see how we will test that. And if you are ready to customize this model, you can try to do that on Tinker, which is the platform that thinking machines actually provide in order for you to train your models and their models as well. They provide many models. So let's start. Mhm. Okay, so apparently we will have an Inkling small as well that's coming soon. And let's try this model. Okay, so we have reached the playground of Tinker here. So let's see what we have here. So this is the reasoning and effort that we have. X high is maximum highs. So let's try medium. At the moment, we have max tokens out of for now, web search enabled, and this is the system prompt. So, okay, this is pretty cool. Okay, so you basically can also change the system prompt into something completely different. Okay, cool. And here you can have this model window as well. Okay, so let's just do a surprise me actually. I would really like to see what that does. Okay, octopuses can extensively edit their own RNA or write protein instructions on the fly without changing their DNA. Wow. Yeah, I was not aware of that, which is a cool general knowledge thing to work on. But let's also try to Google it to see if it's accurate or not. And for a brief moment here, you can see multiple science articles that actually say that octopuses and other animals in the same category, they have the tendency to be able to override their own RNA without modifying their actual DNA, which is pretty cool and accurate, of course. So let's move back. Let's try to see on design what it will do. So let's try a prompt that it's pretty reasonable. Uh, let's say we want to create a website for our local coffee shop and we want to design it as much as possible to our brand aesthetics, for example. Okay, so you are a marketing and brand expert. Okay, so let's see what it does. I have not given any pictures as references, so this will be like exactly how that would show up completely. So I have not given any images as references. So this is the model by itself. Only have given this prompt. So let's see, I'll design a premium interactive experience. So the brand concept is called Capella, which basically means that each coffee served in a dark navy collector's cup, like a steel capsule, and it has a gold star and a unique roast coat. Cool. Okay, this is the full interactive landing page. It features scroll trigger animations. Okay, so it's still generating. Excited to see what we'll come up with. Okay, so this is the branding concept. So this is the brand identity. So every coffee is visually represented, the color system, typography, menu and variations. Okay, it's good for now. Okay, so the brand is positioned as premium, mysterious, and tactical. Perfect for a coffee shop that wants customers to feel like they are instilling something real. So great. I will just drop this quickly in an HTML and come back to you. Mhm. Ναι, το κατάλαβα. Okay. So design looks okay. It's just that this uh, huge interactive piece is a little bit of hiding the text, which is not that great. Let's move below. Okay, they have their own code. Cool. Drink with intention. Okay, this is a basic, actually, uh, HTML website that we will get. I like that there are some like floating stars in the background, as you can see, and as you move, the cards are interactive, especially for a base model. This is pretty good. Again, if you wanted for your own product a model that would be perfect at design, you would take this model and train it on design specific aspects. So it could reach its ultimate potential. Like, as a product perspective, this is what I would personally have done as well in that case. So, yeah, but I do like that it came up with a name, Capella. So I would really like to also ask it how it came up with that specific name for the branding. So, okay, cool. It's basically a combining of capsule, and stellar star, which is basically in Latin. And yeah, so let's see what else we can test it on. Okay, so this is a poem. Circus hum awake a spark between the wires who I am now. Okay, cool as well. I like here where we have the reasoning as well, because for example, here you can see that, okay, we need to provide that, and he thought of an idea, but that's, for example, elegant, but not the most elegant. Then it said, okay, but that's hackish. This is elegant, but maybe too long. So then it was like, okay, I will follow the idea more and then come up with something that's closer to what I have been asked for. And here it explains to you what is the beauty in this code that it has created, for example, because this was the prompt that comes here. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So what we can test this more on as well. We can test it in instruction following. For example, let's say I really wanted to follow. Okay, let's do an actual test. And no, we can't actually upload files right now. Mm-hmm. So what I will do, since I'm not able to give the files that I want directly to it, I'll actually copy paste the whole text of what I want to work on. So this is a business case scenario that we are testing right now is an AI-powered compliance assistant for SaaS startups. So let's say that we currently want to test a workflow automation tool for enterprise clients and this specific business model. So So here it has all the information. And it says here, I need to critically evaluate the business case itself. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Pretty good questions, actually. And especially knowing the impact and yeah. Mm-hmm. I like the overall verdict, but also this comment at the end. What the company needs to be aware of, because if this is actually a successful project and someone actually builds this, an auditor will actually ask, can you prove that this AI didn't fabricate this control description? Which is reasonable because when we have to do with compliance systems, we want them to be fair and effective and not to hallucinate and being probabilistic. Okay, this will not work, and taking chances with this. So definitely, I like this idea so far, but as I have said, these ideas are pretty generic. So even though they are pretty good, and I would say compared to other models out there, if you don't give them another context, and if you don't give them more context as well, they will give you a generic answer. For a base model, it's pretty capable, and my overall verdict is that this model should be used for product work and for tools, maybe agents. This would be basically a model that will actually stress test the agents because it does follow instructions, and that's the pretty reliable thing that we want to build right now. We want to build agents that actually do the task as it was described to them and not something else. So I'm pretty keen on to training one of these in the future as well. I'll comment down below if you want to see any of the progress in this. And actually, I'm pretty impressed. I would overall be excited to have the team that built this model on the podcast for an interview. It's pretty crazy how this good quality of a model is open source, which basically means the weights are very accessible by everyone. And the vision and the mission behind this company is what makes it a $12 billion valuation. So thank you for watching. Um, it means a lot to us that you are supporting this podcast. So if you can subscribe, thank you for the listen, and until the next one. So in the next couple of months, what I will be doing is a Q&A based on all of the comments that you guys leave down below. And if something is pretty interesting, I will also do a dedicated episode on that question as well. So if you're pretty keen about asking me a question and you want an answer, please comment down below in every video. I will read all of them, reply back, and do the Q&A for you guys. I want to provide as much value as humanly possible back to you about AI and what AI means in order to transform the way that we use it and use it effectively, but with, but of course, ethically. That's the thing. That's the mission behind this channel. We want to use the actual taste of you to use AI in order for you to improve your daily lives and workflows. So thank you very much. And until the next one.